Hello everybody, and welcome back to Bilkin Channel. Today we have a list of best action movies from 2000 to 2023. Mission Impossible 2. IMF agent Ethan Hunt is sent to Sydney to find and destroy a genetically modified disease called Chimera. Gladiator. A former Roman general sets out to exact vengeance against the corrupt emperor who murdered his family and sent him into slavery. The Fast and the Furious. Los Angeles police officer Brain O'Connor must decide where his loyalty really lies when he becomes enamored with the street racing world he has been sent undercover to destroy. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Video game adventurer Lara Croft comes to life in a movie where she races against time and villains to recover powerful ancient artifacts. Undisputed. When heavyweight champion George Iceman Chambers lands in prison, the resident gangster arranges a boxing match with the reigning prison champ. XXX. The US government recruits extreme sports athlete Xander Cage to infiltrate a Russian criminal ring, which is plotting the destruction of the world. The Bourne Identity. A man is picked up by a fishing boat, bullet-riddled and suffering from amnesia, before racing to elude assassins and attempting to regain his memory. Too Fast, Too Furious. Former cop Brain O'Connor is called upon to bust a dangerous criminal, and he recruits the help of a former childhood friend and street racer who has a chance to redeem himself. The Italian Job. After being betrayed and left for dead in Italy, Charlie Croker and his team plan an elaborate gold heist against their former ally. Bad Boys 2. Two loose-cannon narcotics cops investigate the flow of ecstasy into Florida from a Cuban drug cartel. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. Lara Croft goes on a quest to save the mythical Pandora's box before an evil scientist finds it and recruits a former Marine turned mercenary to assist her. The Bourne SUPERMACY. When Jason Bourne is framed for a CIA operation gone awry, he is forced to resume his former life as a trained assassin to survive. Batman Begins. After witnessing his parents' death, Bruce learns the art of fighting to confront injustice. When he returns to Gotham as Batman, he must stop a secret society that intends to destroy the city. XXX, State of the Union. Darius Stone, a new agent in the XXX program, is sent to Washington, D.C. to stop a coup attempt against the President of the United States. Revolver. Gambler Jake Green enters into a game with potentially deadly consequences. Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. A teenager becomes a major competitor in the world of drift racing after moving in with his father in Tokyo to avoid a jail sentence in America. Mission Impossible 3. IMF agent Ethan Hunt comes into conflict with a dangerous and sadistic arms dealer who threatens his life and his fiancée in response. Undisputed 2. Last Man Standing, sequel to the 2002 film. This time, heavyweight champ George Iceman Chambers is sent to a Russian jail on trumped-up drug charges. Rocky Balboa. 30 years after the ring of the first bell, Rocky Balboa comes out of retirement and dons his gloves for his final fight against the reigning heavyweight champ Mason, the Line Dixon. The Marine. A group of diamond thieves on the run kidnap the wife of a recently discharged Marine who goes on a chase through the South Carolinian wilderness to retrieve her. Casino Royale. After earning 00 status and a license to kill, Secret Agent James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007. Bond must defeat a private banker funding terrorists in a high-stakes game of poker at Casino Royale, Montenegro. Inside Man. A police detective, a bank robber, and a high-power broker enter high-stakes negotiations after the criminal's brilliant heist spirals into a hostage situation. Live Free or Die Hard. John McClane and a young hacker join forces to take down master cyber terrorist Thomas Gabriel in Washington, D.C. The Bourne Ultimatum. Jason Bourne dodges a ruthless CIA official and his agents from a new assassination program while searching for the origins of his life as a trained killer. Rush Hour 3. After an attempted assassination on Ambassador Han, Lee and Carter head to Paris to protect a French woman with knowledge of the Triad's secret leaders. Elite Squad. In 1997 Rio de Janeiro, Capitán Nascimento has to find a substitute for his position while trying to take down drug dealers and criminals before the Pope visits. Body of Lies. A CIA agent on the ground in Jordan hunts down a powerful terrorist leader while being caught between the unclear intentions of his American supervisors and Jordan intelligence. The Bank Job. Martine offers Terry a lead on a foolproof bank hit on London's Baker Street. She targets a room full of safe deposit boxes worth millions in cash and jewelry, along with a treasure trove of dirty secrets. The Dark Knight. When the menace known as the Joker wreaks havoc and chaos on the people of Gotham, Batman must accept one of the greatest psychological and physical tests of his ability to fight injustice. Quantum of Solace. James Bond descends into mystery as he tries to stop a mysterious organization from eliminating a country's most valuable resource. Rambo 4. In Thailand, John Rambo joins a group of mercenaries to venture into war-torn Burma and rescue a group of Christian aid workers who were kidnapped by the ruthless local infantry unit. Fast and Furious. Brian O'Connor, back working for the FBI in Los Angeles, teams up with Dominic Toretto to bring down a heroin importer by infiltrating his operation. Public Enemies. The feds try to take down notorious American gangsters, John Dillinger, Babyface Nelson, and Pretty Boy Floyd, during a booming crime wave in the 1930s. The Town. A proficient group of thieves rob a bank and hold an assistant manager hostage. Things begin to get complicated when one of the crew members falls in love with her. Salt. A CIA agent goes on the run after a defector accuses her of being a Russian spy. Red. When his peaceful life is threatened by a high-tech assassin, former Black Ops agent Frank Moses reassembles his old team in a last-ditch effort to survive and uncover his assailants. Hunt to Kill. Steve Austin stars as U.S. Border Patrol agent Jim Rhodes, a tough divorce mourning the loss of his murdered partner while struggling to raise his rebellious daughter in the mountains of Montana. But when a crew of trigger-happy fugitives takes Rhodes and his daughter hostage, a rugged wilderness will explode in all-terrain vengeance. Is there any wounded animal more dangerous than a lawman left for dead? Undisputed 3. Redemption. BOYKA is back. This time he is fighting in the first ever inter-prison tournament with one knee. Fast 5. Dominic Toretto and his crew of street racers plan a massive heist to buy their freedom, while in the sights of a powerful Brazilian drug lord and a dangerous federal agent. Mission Impossible. Ghost Protocol. The IMF is shut down when it's implicated in the bombing of the Kremlin, causing Ethan Hunt and his new team to go rogue to clear their organization's name. The Bourne Legacy. An expansion of the universe from Robert Ludlum's novels, centered on a new hero whose stakes have been triggered by the events of the previous 3 films. The Dark Knight Rises. 8 years after the Joker's reign of chaos, Batman is coerced out of exile with the assistance of the mysterious Selina Kyle in order to defend Gotham City from the vicious guerrilla terrorist Bane. Fast and Furious 6. Hobbs has Dominic and Brian reassemble their crew to take down a team of mercenaries. Dominic unexpectedly gets sidetracked with facing his presumed deceased girlfriend, Letty. Red 2. Retired CIA agent Frank Moses reunites his unlikely team of elite operatives for a global quest to track down a missing portable nuclear device. Parker, a thief with a unique code of professional ethics, is double-crossed by his crew and left for dead. Assuming a new disguise and forming an unlikely alliance with a woman on the inside, he looks to hijack the score of the crew's latest heist. Pain and gain. A trio of bodybuilders in Florida get caught up in an extortion ring and a kidnapping scheme that goes terribly wrong. Red Emir. A former hitman for a drug cartel becomes a vigilante to pay for his sins and find redemption. John Wick. An ex-hitman comes out of retirement to track down the gangsters who killed his dog and stole his car. The Equalizer. A man who believes he has put his mysterious past behind him cannot stand idly by when he meets a young girl under the control of ultra-violent Russian gangsters. Need for Speed. Fresh from prison, a street racer who was framed by a wealthy business associate joins a cross-country race with revenge in mind. His ex-partner, learning of the plan, places a massive bounty on his head as the race begins. Furious 7. Deckard Shaw seeks revenge against Dominic Toretto and his family for his comatose brother. Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. Ethan and his team take on their most impossible mission yet, when they have to eradicate an international rogue organization as highly skilled as they are, and committed to destroying the IMF. Sicario. An idealistic FBI agent is enlisted by a government task force to aid in the escalating war against drugs at the border area between the US and Mexico. Creed. The former world heavyweight champion Rocky Balboa serves as a trainer and mentor to Adonis Johnson, the son of his late friend and former rival Apollo Creed. Undisputed 4. BOYKA. In the fourth installment of the fighting franchise, BOYKA is shooting for the big leagues when an accidental death in the ring makes him question everything he stands for. Triple 9. A gang of criminals and corrupt cops plan the murder of a police officer in order to pull off their biggest heist yet across town. John Wick, Chapter 2. After returning to the criminal underworld to repay a debt, John Wick discovers that a large bounty has been put on his life. Baby Driver. After being coerced into working for a crime boss, a young getaway driver finds himself taking part in a heist doomed to fail. Mission Impossible Fallout. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team, along with some familiar allies, race against time after a mission gone wrong. Tomb Raider. Lara Croft, the fiercely independent daughter of a missing adventurer, must push herself beyond her limits when she discovers the island where her father, Lord Richard Croft, disappeared. LUKAS. A nightclub bouncer in his 50s who's taken punches, literally and figuratively, struggles to raise his 8-year-old daughter. Blackwater. A deep-cover operative awakens to find himself imprisoned in a CIA black site on a submarine. Creed 2. Under the tutelage of Rocky Balboa, newly crowned heavyweight champion Adonis Creed faces off against Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago. The Equalizer. 2. Robert McCall serves an unflinching justice for the exploited and oppressed, but how far will he go when that is someone he loves? Sicario Day of the Soldado. The drug war on the U.S.-Mexico border has escalated as the cartels have begun trafficking terrorists across the U.S. border. To fight the war, Federal Agent Matt Graver re-teams with the mercurial Alejandro. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Lawman Luke Hobbs and outcast Deckard Shaw form an unlikely alliance when a cyber-genetically enhanced villain threatens the future of humanity. Avengement. After years of assaults on him in prison, convicted felon Kane Burgess escapes for avengement on those responsible. John Wick Chapter 3. Parabellum. John Wick is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild, and with a $14 million price tag on his head, he is the target of hitmen and women everywhere. Rambo Last Blood. Rambo must confront his past and unearth his ruthless combat skills to exact revenge in a final mission. Bad Boys for Life. Miami detectives Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett must face off against a mother and son pair of drug lords who wreak vengeful havoc on their city. Extraction. Tyler Rake, a fearless black market mercenary, embarks on the most deadly extraction of his career when he's enlisted to rescue the kidnapped son of an imprisoned international crime lord. F9 The Fast Saga. Dom and the crew must take on an international terrorist who turns out to be Dom and Mia's estranged brother. Kate. A jaded assassin assigned to target a Yakuza clan has 24 hours to find out who poisoned her and get vengeance before she dies. No Time to Die. James Bond has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Top Gun Maverick. After 30 years, Maverick is still pushing the envelope as a top naval aviator, but must confront ghosts of his past when he leads Top Gun's elite graduates on a mission that demands the ultimate sacrifice from those chosen to fly it. Bullet Train. 5 assassins aboard a swiftly moving bullet train find out that their missions have something in common. Fast X. Dom Toretto and his family are targeted by the vengeful son of drug kingpin Hernan Reyes. John Wick, Chapter 4. John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. The Equalizer. 3. Robert McCall finds himself at home in southern Italy, but he discovers his friends are under the control of local crime bosses. As events turn deadly, McCall knows what he has to do: become his friend's protector by taking on the mafia. Creed 3. Adonis has been thriving in both his career and family life, but when a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy resurfaces, the face-off is more than just a fight. Extraction. After barely surviving his grievous wounds from his mission in Dhaka, Bangladesh, Tyler Rake is back, and his team is ready to take on their next mission. That was everything. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.